So,
Okay.
okay. Yeah, so because this session is really going to be brief because of time, I have a bit of a structure around how we will, so that we can achieve as much as possible. So, first thing is, do you mind introducing yourself? Can you tell me what you used to do in the past, what you do right now, and what you would like to achieve in the future, things like that. I read your submission though, but I'd like to hear from you directly.
Okay. My name is Oluwafemi Finch, formally, but I used to work as a farm supervisor. I used to be in like the agricultural sector. Then the COVID incident happened, and everybody had to stop working. So that kind of affected me, and since then, I I had to. I finished school. I finished school. Sorry, I think I need to like do a little bit of backstory if you don't mind.
Feel free. Yes, please. That's what I
Okay.
want.
Okay. So I graduated as a sociology and anthropology from BSc OU Ife, and immediately I got into a farm position. I supervised uh, a farm organization, an agricultural organization, where we did a couple of things. We produced energy in the form of like charcoal and the likes. Then we also made we planted and sold a few agricultural produce. But I did that for 3 years, and I finished school in 2017, and I did that for 3 years till 2020 when the lockdown started. And during the lockdown, I tried to diversify. I tried to, because I could not physically go to the farm, so I tried to cross over to the marketing part of the business. So I started um, like working as a liaison between the actual farmers and people in the market. So it was in that brief period after the lockdown, before 2021, that I got to meet a couple of people who we had finished school together, who were like into tech, and we had a couple of conversations. And some of them told me that if I don't mind, I can like switch over to tech, and life will be easier. So I started looking into the ways I could get into tech, because I have no tech background. Like I don't know anything about coding, software, all those things. So I thought, oh, tech makes sense. So I started learning HTML and learning to code, basically. I had a very, very tough time. So I was like, you know what? I don't think software and tech is for me. So I went back into the physical workspace, and I managed a fashion business for a short while. And it was in that experience, that was last year, 2021, while I was managing the fashion business, that I had more exposure to actual tech, like people in tech. And I got to have a few conversations with some of my friends who were project managers for certain tech companies. And they told me that it's not all tech careers require like a coding background. And I started looking into the ones that I can actually do. And it was in my research that I found out about product design. And it felt I didn't get product design immediately, like instantly. I started researching UI UX, because it felt like that was what everybody was doing. So it was when I was researching into that I realized that my strengths actually lie more in the user research part of the user experience and research part of the whole process. And so I was fortunate to get just recently though, a scholarship from Google in the Coursera UX design certificate, obviously. So that's the program that I'm currently like on. But what I've been seeing on the internet is that people encourage you to actually like have professional experience while you're learning. They say, some of my friends have told me that while I'm learning, I should try as much as I can to get some work done, so that I have things on my portfolio for when I'm ready to like break into like the professional setting. So like the kind of person I am, I've learned to do things on my own most of my life. So it is still hard to know the actual materials and the things that I need to do because I think maybe like sorry, I talk too much.
It's fine.
Okay. In my research, I also found out that many people go through this imposter syndrome phase where I feel like, are you serious? Like, is anybody really going to like hire me for this thing? So I'm battling with that currently. And I have also learned that in order to get rid of that, I just need to practice and actually do work. So while practicing, I've set up so many practice accounts, Figma, there was the other one, Miro, so many practice. I'm just practicing, but in all my practices, I have never actually like finished any design, and it's more like people see the UI part of the product design more than the UX, and the UX part feels like I can't do it halfway. I need to like actually, from the, empathy and all to the finished product before I can actually say, oh yes, I have done this and this is what I can do. So the problem I'm having is that there's no clear path from like my training to actual work experience that I can show off and tell people that, oh yeah, I can do this.
Okay. All right, noted. So while you were talking, I noted a couple of things down. Well, before I comment about what you said, I have a few questions. So, do you have a CV?
Yes, but not for tech yet. I don't.
Okay. How many projects have you worked on so far? Whether you've completed them or not completed them. I mean, for product design, how many have you worked on?
Two. I was enrolled in this sort of internship, but it didn't finish because the group that I was assigned to, I don't think everybody has the same work ethic. So our project kind of failed, but I've been involved with two projects so far.
Okay, what was the internship?
There was a Zuri internship, and then there was the Design Power Academy. Both.
Okay, so which of them do you have a case study for? Do you have any case study?
The Design Power, yes, I can access the case study. Yes.
Did you come up with it?
I contributed to the project. Yes, I did the user persona, the journey map, and a couple of other things that I can't remember from the top of my head.
Okay. 1 second. Okay. Have you been applying for jobs?
Yes, just recently I started applying for internships.
Okay, so you're applying for internships. What kind of internship? What companies?
There was one by Seamless HR.
Okay.
I think they are a hiring company for other
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
for Wella Health, yes. It was for Wella Health.
For what do you call it?
Wella Health.
Wella Else. Okay. Nigerian company, right?
Yes, a Nigerian company.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Well, what's your salary expectation?
Right now, I don't have, I just want to work, like to actually have experience.
So you don't want money, basically.
I do, of course, I do want money, but
Because that was the question I asked.
I want money, but I
So
mean,
how
if
much do you want? What's your salary expectation?
okay, anywhere between 100 to 150,000 naira will be good.
Okay. All right. Noted. Would you say you're a creative person?
I would say no.
Okay. Can you explain what you mean?
Okay, creativity. I think creativity comes from a place where you personally, what I think being creative means is you conceptualize ideas and bring them out. Like, but I am more of an analytic person. I look at things, I look at facts and figures and analyze them to be able to come up with like make deductions out of the things that I see.
Okay. Awesome. All right. This is really good insight. So what I've been trying to do with all these questions is some sort of diagnostics. I'm acting in the place of a doctor, sort of. And well, your answers to some of the questions I asked, and even some of the things you said earlier on, kind of told me some things about you. And I already concluded, I already knew you are more of an analytical person than creative. I just said, let me ask to confirm my suspicion. So now, firstly, I would say that all your experience that you had in the past as a farm supervisor, even a little bit of marketing that you morphed a bit into, and managing a fashion business, everything you've had before you got into tech, every one of them is relevant. So UX design is one of those fields where you need to have several, or let me say product design is one of those fields that you need to have several skill sets to actually shine. It's not a field where, oh, you should just know how to sit down behind the computer and move stuff around on Figma, or one that you just need to know how to do motion graphics. So, or graphic design flyers. Nope. UX design is one of those fields that you need to have knowledge of psychology. You need to know how to manage people. You need to know how to communicate effectively. You need to even know how to do some presentation of ideas, create reports. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that is not what most people think UX design is. So I like how you already kind of identified your strengths. That's one thing many people are not able to do. You've said that you are more interested in research, and that's
Yeah.
obvious, having an analytical mind. So things around research, strategy, for me, I'm actually more of that kind of person as well. I'm more of a research strategy, breaking down user flows, journey maps, stuff like that. That is more of me. Though I do the whole thing, but that's more of me. And so I say all these things because many times people discount their previous experience, and I always ask to tell me about you, not just that I'm doing design right now, but everything actually comes together. For instance, there was a question I asked you a few minutes ago, like, what's the salary expectation? And you said you just want to learn, just want to get experience. And That's not a good response, because I'm one of those people that is not really into, oh, go and get an internship job. No, I'm not really one of those people. I'd rather you get a junior role and get paid properly, and you know you're doing a job, because there are only very few. I've only seen very few in actual good internship roles recently, except if it's like one of those really big companies that are well structured. You'd probably only get a job and be doing the job of an actual designer, probably getting almost no support. And so why go ahead and be struggling, still stumbling in the dark, and then having high blood pressure because if you are not delivering what they want?
That
So
is serious.
yeah, so I take a different approach when it comes to people I'm trying to help. And what I always recommend is, how about we work on your portfolio? How about we create work on more projects, more quality projects, not just projects. Pick
Okay.
2, 3 quality projects that will put together as a full case study, and know that this is my portfolio, and use that to apply for proper jobs, rather than saying I want to do internship. There are so many problems out there to solve. Too many. For instance,
Yes.
you mentioned something you were trying to solve after COVID came, and you became like a middleman between the farmers and people. That is a problem. What you can create a full-blown case study on that. That's a field you've understood, you've worked in for years. So that's that right there. I even think it's something that I should work on. I think is the problem statements could be something around you can tell the story, oh, how farmers have their produce, it gets wasted, maybe because of not getting the direct access to these people that want to buy in bulk. You don't understand the market more. So you can create a problem statement around that, and then have a couple of solution ideas. What could it be the idea? You also put into account the type of people you are creating a solution for. You can't just go ahead and say, oh, I'm going to create one smart app. Okay, are they farmers that know anything? Do they have smartphones? Can they actually use their smartphone well on the field? So these are some things. These are some things that UX design is about. It's more about the thinking part first, the research part first. It's not just about the solution to this is, let me just build an app that farmers can be able to get their produce to who's going to use the app for them.
Who would use the app?
Yes, who would use the app? Is it market people that are in the market that you want to use? I want to use app. So thinking about solutions to problems like this, solving problems like this, does not necessarily have to end up in a digital solution. It doesn't necessarily need to be an app in the end.
Okay.
So the problem could be solved in different ways. It could be an app, yeah. How you decide to
created for a
implement.
different demographic.
Yeah, exactly. Your solution could be something around USSD solution. It could be maybe a star something star something. There was a project I was working on one time that the solution that we came up with was a USSD solution. It was not anything pretty. It was not anything we sat down behind laptop designing. It was more of documentation. It was more of a developer's work, but we created documentation around how what the solution would be for that problem. So I'm trying to let you know that firstly, you can specialize within the product design or the UX design field as a researcher, which you already enjoy and which you think is what you want to do. So I've not really done this with anyone, but let me just quickly say this. One homework I'll give to you. I didn't give anybody else homework, but I'll give you this homework to go and Google and check out what a UX researcher's portfolio looks like. So check out specifically not a UX designer, specifically a researcher's portfolio. What does it look like? Check that out. Look at several good UX researchers in the world. Check out what their portfolio looks like. The goal behind this assignment is for you to have the end in mind from the beginning, so you know where you're trying to get to. So there are several touch points. One of the touch points would be, you have to create a portfolio that is going to be good enough for UX research jobs. Or if you are someone that, okay, yeah, my main part of UX design would be research, but I'd still like to maybe create some digital solution. So maybe after doing the research and create into a case study, you come up with something. You can come up with a solution. There are also researchers that come up with these things. Or if you want to stick to just the research part and you hand over your work to the next person, that's cool. So there are actually jobs for UX research. They may not be sure. I'm sure if you Google right now, UX research jobs, you will see jobs. You need to be ready for these jobs. That's a different thing. So there's so many UX researcher jobs, too many actually. So, and when I say jobs, I'm not limiting it to Nigerian jobs. To be honest, Nigerian jobs might not have that much of a niche when it comes to UX research. We only just accepted UX design. We're only just accepting. Then to now choose a niche within that. So you might not, if that's where you want to go, just know it from the beginning. Oh, that's where I want to go, and I'm most likely not going to be getting a job with a Nigerian company, which is even good because you're going to be getting paid in Forex. So I would recommend you do what I said first. Then also the case studies, look at some problems around you, some things that you spotted, like the one I noted. You can work on something around that. Do some research. You can go out, talk to some of these farmers. Oh, what are the biggest pain points people are having? Okay, talk to the market people. What's the biggest problem? Start thinking about it, about some ideas. You document your whole process. You document it. You take pictures if you can. Those are things that will make its way into your case study. Like, yeah, a researcher's job is a researcher's portfolio is more about the problem. It's not just about pretty stuff, like I've said. Oof, we have spent a lot of time. Okay. Well, now I asked all of these questions, like I said, because it helps me to know how I would be able to help you. I've already started helping, sort of. The next steps would be a series of sessions, 4 sessions, and it will be starting in January. And these sessions will be more of transformational coaching, in the sense that I won't be teaching you the basics of product design. You already have a course that you're taking, so I'd recommend you double up, and if possible, finish it before then. It's a lot of work, I know, but I won't be teaching basics of product design. I won't be teaching you how to use Figma, or I won't even be teaching you how to write questionnaires and stuff like that. Nope, it's not going to be that type of session. It's going to be one around positioning you for that job. We're doing things like updating your LinkedIn profile, some recommendation of the kind of things you should be posting about, basically getting you ready for the recruiter to find you. I used to tell people that tell me, oh, the UX design field is saturated. I tell them that nope, it's not saturated. Per week, I get 2 or 3 new jobs in my DM, directly delivered to my DM. They literally will come to my DM. This week I've gotten 2 already. Last week I got 2 or 3. I don't even remember. Every week. And that goes to show you that these recruiters, most of the time, scout. They do more of headhunting than waiting for vacancy, the results from vacancies. So yeah, so that's why LinkedIn profile is very important. I'll show you what platforms you should be on. Depends on how proactive you are. I can assist in setting up your profile, reviewing your CV. You say you don't have one CV for tech yet, so would actually come up with one. Cover letter is something that most people don't have. Do you have a cover letter?
No.
Exactly. Cover letter is so important. It's like your voice in the room. It's like that thing that puts your feet through the door and speaks for you. It's more like a pre-interview thing. You know, as you're applying for a job, hundreds or even thousands of other people applying for the same job. How do you set yourself apart? Cover letter is one of the ways. And then again, depends on how fast you are and how proactive you are about the whole session. I might be able to help you out with mock interviews. If you already say you're applying for jobs and maybe you're already getting some interview responses, then yeah, mock interviews. And you've already noted specialization in UX, but I could be able to open your eyes to other specializations. Like if you're someone that likes writing, there's UX writing. There's a lot of fields, a lot of niches that are really interesting. Yeah, they're really interesting within UX. And you don't need to know nothing about Figma. I have a friend, she's currently now in the US and she's a Nigerian. While she was in Nigeria up to now, she does not use Figma at all. All she does, she's a UX researcher. So let me see if I'll see Lade. I always forget her surname. Lade is her name. Okay, I'll find her. I'll see if I find her. I'll send you her name. Let me just note it down. Get this. Okay, so those are things that we are going to be doing together in this session. It's going to be a group session and a very small group, between 5 to 10 people. And it's not going to be a free session. It's going to be paid. That's something else to note. It's going to cost £100. And I don't know what £100 is naira right now. Maybe 80K or 90K or something. But all these things that I've listed are the things that you'd it's more like I said, things that you should not expect. Teaching you basics of product design, no, doing it for you. I mean, actually sitting down and doing your CV for you, portfolio. Don't expect those kind of things. I won't be doing anything for nobody.
You unappreciated it.
Yeah. So what I will be doing is to do it with you, to assist you, give you guidance, maybe even with some templates and things like that. Those are the kind of things that I would be helping with. I could be sharing some of my own secrets. Actually, we'll be doing a lot of preparing for interviews because many times you get even through the first interview, but then you just get lost in the process. And we don't, I think a lot of people do not even know how to do that.
Nigeria have.
Okay, yeah, with me. Okay, so many people don't even know how to follow up with recruiters or with HR people after you've sent in your application. You don't just sit down and wait for the good news to come to you. So yeah, those are some things that I would be covering during the session. I will send you an email with the summary of this discussion, most of the things discussed. I will also send you that lady's details. Like I said,
okay.
I'll see if I can get a website. And also I'll also include next steps for you and about the next sessions. I also include like deadline for payments. There's going to be a deadline of maybe somewhere around maybe 20 something of December. And the reason is because there are a couple of things I need you and the other guys to have in preparation for our session in January. It's very, very important. For instance, your portfolio. I would prefer for you to have at least 2 case studies already prepared, 2 quality case studies already prepared within your in your portfolfolio, so that you will be focusing on getting a job, things about getting a job. That's my focus. There's so much knowledge out there. And then that course you're taking and any other course you want to take, please go on and complete them. I know there's a lot of things to do before January, but yeah, now is the time to grind.
Yes.
Do you have any questions? Our time is almost up, but please feel free to ask me questions.
So far, no questions so far.
Oh, awesome.
Everything's clear. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
So I will, if you expect an email from me, yeah. All right. One last question from me. So the session I mentioned in January, is this something you think you would be able to be a part of?
Yes, I would very much love to be a part of it. Yeah. And I will be a part of it.
Awesome. Okay. All right then. Because I asked that question because, like I said, I just I'm looking at the sweet number of 7 people.
Okay.
Between 5 and 10 people, really, it would definitely not exceed 10. So it's whatsoever that I would actually be even returning people's money if they pay after that number. I don't think class. Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Work on those things I said, please.
I will.
All right.
Bye-bye. I'll be looking forward to the mail.
Yes, please. If not today, tomorrow, before the end of this week.
Okay. All right. All right. Bye. Thank you, Grace. Yeah. Bye.